Hello, Professor. I'm Henri. My presentation is about repeaters in networks. So, the agenda for this presentation is the introduction to computer networks. Then I will give the definition of repeaters, how repeaters work, the type of repeaters we have, where repeaters are used, the advantages and limitations of using repeaters. Then I will try to compare the repeaters versus other network devices. Lastly, I'm going to talk about repeaters in optical cables. So, to start with, I want first of all to explain a little bit what is the computer networks. So, the computer networks is consists of interconnected devices, so allowing the data exchange. It's just like the backbone of modern communication and computing. So they, as I said, they consist of interconnected devices like computers, servers, and printers that communicate using specific protocols. So in this field, in the computer networks field, the repeating devices are essential for overcoming essential distance-related communication issues. But in the next slide, I want to explain what actually are repeaters. So the repeaters, uh, a repeater is an electronic device that receives a signal to transmit it at a higher level or higher power. So it's like in other words, I can say a repeater is like a signal booster. Imagine you are having a conversation with someone far away, and your voice start fading as the distance increases. So a repeaters essentially listen to that weak signals and amplifies it or regenerates a fresh copy, a fresh copy, and then send it to on its way at full strength. So why do we need repeaters? Why do we need repeaters in this case? So when the data travels over a networks, the signals the signal weakens due to something called attenuation. So this happens because physical mediums like cables or wireless channels have limitations. So signals decrease as they travel farther. And the repeaters solve this problem by strengthening the signals, so it can travel longer distances without losing its quality or integrity. So in simple words, a repeater takes in a weak signals, amplifies or cleans it up, and then retransmit it. So this keeps the network reliable, especially when covering large areas or connecting distance devices. The next is to know how the repeaters actually works. A repeaters the a repeater's main job is to ensure that data signals remain strong and reliable as they travel. So the first step is the repeater receive the signals, as here. The repeaters receive the signals, and that has receive a signal that has a weakened due to distance or obstacles. Then it regenerates. It regenerates the signal, basically cleaning cleaning up or any noise or distortion. Finally, retransmit the signals at full strength so it can continue traveling without any issue. So uh, this image explain clearly how it works. The next is the type of repeaters we have. We have different types of repeaters based on networks and application. The first one is the wired repeaters. These are designed for physical cables connections, such as Ethernet networks, and they're used to extend the range of wired signals. Why? And with the next, we have wireless repeaters. These are essential. So the ones we are most familiar with. And wireless repeaters are used in Wi-Fi networks to boost coverage. So think something like those frustration dead zones in our home or office where the Wi-Fi signal just doesn't reach, and adding a wireless repeater in the right spot can extend the network's coverage. The last one is the optical repeaters. So these are specialized repeaters used in fiber optic networks. So the optical repeaters regenerate and amplify light signals, ensuring high-speed data transfer without loss of quality. These are essential for long-haul communication systems like those used in undersea cables. So let's take the wireless repeaters as an example. So if you have a large house, for instance, and the router is in the living room, you might notice weak Wi-Fi in the upstairs bedrooms. So every repeater placed midway extend the coverage, ensuring a strong signal throughout the house. Next is where repeaters are used. The repeaters are used in both home and enterprises networks. They are common in long distance communication, include wide area networks, local area networks, and underwater fiber optics. So next is the advantages of using repeaters. So there are three main advantages. The first one, it allows extend the reach of a networks. It also it's cost effective, easy and affordable way to extend network coverage. And lastly, it maintains quality over long distance. The next are the limitation of repeaters. So the limitation repeaters do not filter traffic, meaning they retransmit everything including errors, only capable of repeating signals up to a certain distance, and multiple repeaters may be needed for the very long distance. And the last one is the potential for network congestion. So extreme repeaters may lead to congestion if signals are amplified and unnecessary. So here I want to compare the repeaters with the different devices. So the first one is the switch versus the repeater. So the switches are repeaters serve very different purposes in a network. A switch is like a traffic controller. It directs data packets to specific devices within the network. For example, if you are sending a file to another computer in the office, the switch ensures that the data goes straight to that device rather than broadcasting it to everyone. And the repeater, on the other hand, does not care about where the data is going. Job is to amplify its only job is to amplify and regenerate the signals to ensure it can travel further without degrading. And the next is the router versus the repeater. And a router determines the best path for data to travel between different networks. First, but if it decides how data moves from your home network to the internet, it's smart and make a decision based on the most efficient route. A repeaters, however, doesn't make any routing decisions. Its role is much simpler. It amplifies the signals, ensuring it remains strong, but it doesn't. So this is just the difference between the call repeaters versus hubs. So the hubs is a network devices that connect multiple devices coming from different branches into a single networks, and the main function is to forward data packet to all any connected devices in the internet. But here, what I want to emphasize here is the hubs or repeaters are not used for network security. They are different devices that are used in network security. Next is to say the use of repeaters in optical cables. The optical cables repeaters are specialized devices placed at intervals along underwater cables to amplify signals. Each repeater is equipped with a pump laser to eject energy into the fiber and amplify attenuated signals. So in the international telecommunication, repeaters ensure smooth communication between continents, supporting internet browsing, international business transaction, and undersea data centers. So without the repeaters, actually the signals lose over long oceanic distances and would make high-speed data transmission impossible. So in conclusion, the repeaters are vital for extending network reach, maintaining signal quality, and supporting seamless communication over long distance. They play essential role in both wired and wireless networks. As a takeaways, we're gonna say repeaters ensures reliable data transmissions and are an essential building blocks in networks infrastructure. So thank you very much, Professor.